evening, GT Sport fans. We're right at the end of Pool 1 qualifying, it looks like. Just managed to jump into the lobby. Only a 2-lap qualifying tonight, and I see they're on their last 45 seconds. So currently, as it stands, we've got Mr. Lung on pole with Hollywood second, Steele third, Henny fourth, Leonardo fifth, GTSA 6, Superman 7th, DC Gaming 8th, DC's 9th, Fluffy Butt 10th, Fuss is 11th, Cav Lappius 12th, and Mr. Brunnerbangs in 13th. Looks like, I know we're missing Kalen, he's not able to race tonight, and also EcoBoost, I think. So the race should be starting in about 8 seconds. If you are watching, say hi, let us know. If anyone, Mr. Sniper, maybe you want to join me on commentary if you join. Here's the start. Follow from the back of the grid. I'm on board with Mr. DC Gaming. Looks like Mr. Raventy was outside the lobby, so probably going to have a restart here. Just quickly exiting the lobby because one driver wasn't entered, so we'll get a restart here. I'm sure they'll quickly sort out the grid positions, and in the meantime, if you are joining the stream, say hi, let me know you're watching, how did your race go, and your predictions for this race. Bear with us while we get everything set up again. In the meantime, just a shout out to our sponsors, TJN Racing Simulators, Track Art, and Zappa Gaming. Without them, we don't have any awesome prizes for you guys this season, so support the guys that support us. If you're looking for PlayStations or games, play seats, go to Zappa. They do watches as well, some amazing collectibles. TJN Racing Simulators, they'll get you anything wheel rig related as well. And check out the TJN Race Room, get your track art while you're there. So they're quickly just sorting out the room settings quickly, because it still says 7 minutes. We're busy here, I'm just quickly showing. Okay, so We're getting everyone out on track, getting ready for the restart. Hopefully Ravanti enters this time. Brandon's using a livery I've used before on this car, the Opel Calibra livery looks great. We've got, if you look on the left side of the screen, Lappies in the Cav livery, same with Fluffy Butt. We've got a nice track art there with C810. Steel paste in one of the paste colours, with the graffiti street racer vibe going on there, Gorilla Garage. Must be a Triv special. Lunya's having a fantastic time, I guess I can say that. Sam in the pace car, DC Gaming representing the Mayfair Gearbox crew. Yanali, just stealth type of livery. Yeah, it should be quite tight. There's a lot of very evenly matched drivers here, so shortly. Just waiting for them to get the lobby settings sorted out here, it looks like. They're almost there. So we should be going in 30 seconds according to the host. If anyone watching feels like joining me on commentary, I do have a party chat open. I see there are a whole 6 of you at the moment. But yeah, type a message, just say how your race went, who you are, because I don't have comments enabled. See Yassin shouting out for the 9BR guys like GTSA. Occasional co-commentator Ravanti was the one that forgot to enter, which is why we had the delayed start. For the first few seconds here down the hill. Very tight first corner. Let's see if everyone behaves. See what's happening. Everyone's braking. Anything happening here? Superman getting a little bit wide into Fluffy Butt. Overall, Fluffy won't be too happy with that, but compared to the Pool 3 race I was in, where I went from 11th to 5th, that wasn't a bad start. Let's go to the front at the moment. It's a long race. Hollywood's in the lead. He's got half a second over the Fanta car. Brandon's in third. We are still Sam. It's right. We'll follow Brandon a bit in his Opel Calibra. Everyone else is in Nissan Silvius tonight. through the uphill sweeping S section, a very tricky section to get right, and you can see I think Hollywood ran a little bit wide there, which has given Mr. Fanta a long run on him, but Hollywood defends the inside. Well, we had, I think it was Sam, one of the pace cars, going very deep there, getting caught out in the cold tires. So basically this is a one-stop race. Either softs or mediums. I think let's see if anyone dies on the wall of death, chicane of death. No, it looks like they all made it through. Robin T looking on the outside of Superman. He's looking on Yanali. Yanali is a meat in the pace sandwich there. We call them the Gorilla Garage sandwich tonight because that's what the cars say. We've got two other Gorilla Garage cars going off up front. We didn't see what happened there, but it's caused a bit of a traffic jam in mid-pack. We've got 6 cars going to be going into the first corner again. In the meantime, the front runners are all behaving. We've got Mr. Sniper joining me on comms. Meantime, I'm not sure what's happening. We've had some guys disconnect on the lobby. The settings seem to be incorrect as well. Down. I think they're restarting again.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, Don.
How's it going, mate? Sorry, are you live streaming?
Yep, we live.
Oops.
Welcome to the chat, GTSA race. I don't know, we're having a host issue first. The Ravinti didn't enter, and now the settings were traction control settings were on still.
Yeah, no, there's an issue. As we're about to start our race, a guy entered the lobby, reset the whole race back to qualifying. And when the race started, I'd gone from mediums back to softs, and my traction was on, and I couldn't switch it off. So there's a serious bug tonight.
Yeah.
Let me try to sketch on the YouTube channel so I can watch. No, they fix one thing and then they break 10 things.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Oh, no.
What's the way to get that TC bug out the way? When you have TC turned off, you have to turn it off on yourself on your settings before you go into the room.
Yeah, but mine was already switched off because of MCC. They don't allow traction. So I was practicing without traction, and yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe a glitch that happened tonight. So yeah. Because normally, this is the first time in a long time it's given trouble. Well, the lobbies. So I will look and see. But yeah, the weirdest part was when as the race was about to start, when the guy entered the lobby and it just reset the whole room. It's very strange.
So in the meantime, how's your race?
Well, I started on the wrong tires. I made up a few spots, but then at the incident, somebody did chicane, so I was trying to hit him. Lost a bit of time. I was pushing, then I hit the death chicane. But other than that, it was a nice race. I got the hang of the car. I only drove it just before when I joined your lobby earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, so no practice. The proper arrive and drive.
No, good.
And got to what 147s on the medium. So for me, I think that's not too bad for my pace.
47s, yeah, that just wasn't bad.
On medium.
I did a quick practice race this afternoon, and I got a couple 46s, and I was running 47s. In the race, I was doing mid 47s and 48s, so I was driving cuck again.
So, but at least you got to race this week? Because you didn't race last week, eh?
No, previous race I was load shed, and then the one previous to that I think I came second in pool 3, got back into pool 2, and the race before that I got to lap 3 and I got cut off in pool 2. So yeah, at least I got to race. Second time in 4 races.
Yeah, no, this load shedding is really playing havoc on guys with alternative power.
So we got a bit of a false start there. We had one lap with a little bit of bumping and barging, but it wasn't too bad. Shame, my qualifying, I messed up both my laps. First lap I went in too deep, and then second lap I nailed, but coming out of the death chicane for some reason, I was a little bit cautious because I had to not mess the lap up, and the car just got into a huge slide without trying, so hit the wall, and I ended up starting last. I came out of turn 1 in 5th because someone went in and knocked like 6 guys wide. So,
ouch!
But then I was on the
he's going to be busy.
I started on the mediums and into 6 into the chicane of death, and I actually backed off because I was in the train of the first 5 cars and I had the harder tire. So I backed off and again slid, touched the wall, lost all momentum, dropped to the back. So I spent my whole race coming back through, and I got up to 5th, and then my last time through the chicane of death I took it easy and I touched the wall and lost 5th place in a drag to the line with Mr. Blade, but it was good fun.
Yeah, no, some good races with for a little bit, MJ, and host side by side. Well, I was on the soft side, so I could outbreak them in some of the corners, so it was good. A nice race. That's how I wanted. I think I just like to do the game sometime.
So you said you started on the wrong tires. What did you start on? Softs or mediums?
Softs.
I would have started on softs if I was at the front.
I was in like 9th place because I also had a bad quali. Yeah, it was but yeah, what are those? It was fun. It's still enjoyable. Pushing down. I pushed to 13 laps on the softs.
Are you looking at the stream?
I can see guys doing donuts and spinning.
Look at the top where it says outlap on DC here. Look at the time. His outlap timer.
That's 596 hours.
Yeah. 0.331 point. Okay. Anyway. Looks like we're going to be racing again, so let's try this. We're going to watch from the back again like we did the last race, the last start. It was quite interesting. So we can see who's causing trouble for the panel. And the bright people with the hooters on here.
I actually forgot about there's someone who's blowing it at me from behind. But who's that Hollywood on pole position?
So we've got 3 wide at the back of the pack. Got a whole bunch of guys very close to each other up front. This is where I just position myself in the middle of the track but brake a little bit early. That's what I did, and then I cut to the inside on the normal line. Looks like everyone's getting a little bit some side to side action, but they're all sorting themselves out here. Two abreast through this corner doesn't generally work, so everyone's slowly getting into single file before the uphill S's. Oh, and we have a spin there. Ravanti losing it, collects Lappies. Lappies loses some places but manages to stay pointing the right way, and that's going to not help Rav too much. We go to the front. Hollywood versus Mr. Lung again, same as it was a previous start. Watch them battle into turn one. Into the end of the sector, just on lap one. So Hollywood runs a bit deep. Nice little battle here. First and second, and there's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth very close together. I hate falling on lap one through the chicane.
Yeah, especially in close proximity. One guy goes off and the ghosting is wrong. Yeah.
So give us your prediction.
I'd say, let's see what it start with. I'd say Hollywood, but I think it's second place for Mike. But I think Superman might make his way up to second. I'd say third. Okay, I'll say Runaway is third place. Nice open livery there. He's missing. So did all of them start on softs? Okay, there's a medium runner there. Steven, is your mic on or off?
Sorry, I bumped my control, I didn't realise it's off. So yeah, we got most of the front guys on softs, and then there's a bunch mid-pack. I think there's more medium runners than there are softs, but there's some soft guys stuck in the middle of the medium runners, so they're losing time getting held back there. The front two are pulling a gap on the first of the medium runners, which is Brunavane. Yeah, Steele's on softs, Fluffy's on mediums, he's in fifth place, so second of the medium runners. 9BR mediums, Henny soft, Superman medium, Yanali soft, DC medium, Cutfist medium, Lappies medium, Ravanti and Sam medium. So yeah, nice start by Mr. Fanta over here. He's got the lead from Hollywood, 46.6 fastest lap last time around. Always wonder when I see like this Fanta livery, is it one of his or is it a modified one? A lot of guys, you can see it's got the ZAF number board on and on the front screen. So a lot of guys take a ready-made livery and then add some SA or their team stickers to it.
I did the Fanta one. I think it was GTSA. I think it took me.
Speak up a bit.
I said I did the Fanta one in the GTSA. You guys, I think last season.
Yeah.
I think it was a week it took me to.
There we go. We can hear you again. Well, Hollywood goes a bit deep, but he keeps it off the wall. Brunavane's doing a great job here on the mediums. He's second and a half slower in the second lap, but he was fighting, I think it was Fluffy. Fluffy's having a bit of a battle here. I think he might have hit the wall because he was in fourth, but he's now into 8th place with a couple of guys diving on the inside. And Ali collects him in the side there. That's what happens when you get stuck in the chicane. Is you lose all the pace and everyone else is coming into the corner so much quicker than you. Sam also off again. So we've got at the moment Mr. Lung from Hollywood, Brunavane in third, Pierre Steele fourth, and fifth is GTSA. So the front four are broken away a little bit. There's a 4-second gap between fourth and fifth, only 3-second covering the front four, and out of the front four only Brunavane is on medium, so he's in good position at the moment.
Definitely. I think we'll have to change the prediction to put Brunavane for the win.
Opal's always going to win. What you talking?
Yeah. I wish they could bring that Opal back into GT7.
Yeah. And the Astra DTM.
Astra.
So we're just riding on board with the battle for third at the moment. He's still on the softer tyres, so he'd like to get past. He's about 3.5 seconds off the lead. We got then 5th, 6th, 7th all close together. 2 seconds back to Lappies. He's on the medium. DC and Catfish. DC 9th, Catfish 10th. Janali 11th. Ravanti. Janali's had an issue with the wall there, and Sam drives into the back of him, coming out the chicane of death. So that's the other thing, when you hit the wall. You saw he tried to stay out of Ravanti's way, which meant he stayed on the line, and Sam just drove into the back of him, which dropped him 3 seconds behind Ravanti. So yes, nice bit of bumper cars there. Obviously the guys don't need to do it. Back to the front, Hollywood's closing in on Mr. Fanta, we're going to call him. Steele's closing in on Brunavane for third, right behind him. And that gap from 3.6 for Steele to the leads down to 2.2, and he's going up the inside of Brunavane here. Fastest lap 45.9 by Hollywood last time, and 46.0 by Steele. So the two soft runners on the move. Mr. Fanta was a 46.9 last time. You can see his tyres are, or all of their tyres are starting to look quite a bit worn. Brunavane's taking a look back on the inside of Steele.
They're going to make it stick.
Almost looks like
I think there's a touch around a bit wide.
C8 Henny all the way up in 5th, GTSA 6, they're close together, go through the pack. Every lap it's just to see who survived the chicane of death. DC is still going through there, so I was going through there. I mean, he's on the mediums, but I was running a second a lap or 2 seconds a lap quicker than DC's last 2 laps, but it's still early days, and also he could have had a slide, or you'd never know what happened. But yeah, that chicane of death, I think in the end I was just tapping it into 5th as I went in onto the right-hander, then the short law straight, pulled right against the wall, lifted and turned in at about 180. You could go through it, or I could go through that about 190, but 3 out of 4 times it was touching the wall, getting a big slide on the exit, or hitting the wall on the way in.
I think my fastest through there was about 195. Yeah. But like I said, you just touch the wall slightly. But
great battle.
Only these top guys can do it. Yeah,
it's to do it every lap. It's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had a week of practice, but.
I don't know who decides. Who decides to give us half an hour before the race.
No, what you talking? It was 4:30. You had 3.5 hours. So looking at
we
the
still got to work.
we got Fanta and Hollywood bumper to bumper at the moment.
That's good. Yeah.
Hollywood's got a little bit more tyre left, it looks like. Then we got Brunavane. He had opened the gap a little bit on Steele after that last lap, but that's closed down again.
Yeah, I wonder if they've set their brake bias, because it doesn't look with their tyre wear. It looks like their brake bias is reset to 0.
I had mine all the way back, and it's still
Yeah.
It would look like that after this many laps.
So,
I killed the fronts in. No, they were actually was. I don't think it was that bad.
no, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, even mine, and I mean, I was pushing from the back, so because maybe they forget with the lobby reset. You can forget to just check your settings again.
To ever move into turn 1, or actually turn 2 technically, because there's a little kink there. Hollywood throws it up the inside, gets his lead back, but it overshoots. They're side by side, and Mr. Fanta takes the lead again. Same thing, you have Steel right on the back of Brunnervane. That little fight in front cost them about a second, so it's bringing the other two closer, and the last thing you want is Brunnervane closing in because he's on the better tyres for the second half of the race.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's quite interesting though, because your roundabout here is where the medium's actually a better tyre than the softs, because the worn softs. But then later on when it's going to be the reverse, so he'll have the advantage to close up and then possibly just get ahead, but then his softs will be worn, so then at the end he'll be holding on. Let's see, does Hollywood get him this time? Looking again. I think Hollywood knows he needs to get a move on because of Brunnervane, so he throws up the inside, overshoots again, and Fanta goes back through. He's got a bit of a gap there. That's brought Brunnervane right on to the tail, so we've got a 4-car train almost for the lead.
Well, it's nice to see nose to tail racing through that death chicane.
Close your eyes and hope you make it.
Yeah, pray the game front makes it.
Yeah, you can see Hollywood compare his front, the other soft runners' fronts understeering, whereas Brunnervane with his mediums that are still pretty fresh, he is holding his line through that long corner.
Looks like he will be going on the attack soon, Brunnervane.
The only thing is you got the rear tyres are still fresh on all of the cars, so exit on the corners, the guys on the softs get a nice hook up and pull a few tenths back, or a few meters, let's say. So there we go, we've got 4 cars within 1.4 seconds. Let's quickly go through. Henny's in a safe 5th at the moment. Supermanny same 6th. 7th is also 8th. Little battle here, 9th and 10th. Lappies and Cutfists. We've got big gaps behind, so we're going to go back to the front for nothing's changed. They're going to hit the twisty uphill section where all the understeering cars are going to battle, and 3rd place should have a bit of the advantage to catch up. I don't know why with this car, on this track I used to do in GT Sport and even here 44, 45, but with the Lambo for some reason I could get pretty good lap times, but I cooked the tyres in like 5 laps.
Quick.
This car that could even smell a 45.
I know it shows how this game has changed and evolved. The person has to really spend time with, I think, most cars on each track just to get the feel which is the best one suited for them.
Does Hollywood go for the dive?
Yeah.
He might want small touch, but he backs out of it, which is going to let Brunnervane through into 2nd. Brunnervane's got his nose on the inside, but he's on the wrong outside for the corner, so Canlung managed to hold him off here. I know we've got 13 cars in the race, but these 4 are battling nicely, so it looks like Hollywood had to take avoiding action from the back of Mr. Fanta, so that cost him a few tenths there.
That's good. Looks like he's under pressure there also from your steel come to join the party.
I see Hollywood nudged Fanta into the corner, so that's what let Brunner get the run on him. Now he wants his 1st place back, Hollywood wants 2nd back. Yeah, Steele's just sitting there watching, waiting for something to happen. It's actually right on board with Yas for a little bit. I'll have a sip of my coffee that's getting cold here.
Cold.
With all this fighting, they haven't pulled too much of a gap on Henny, who's only 5 seconds off the lead.
for
Well,
the
no, yeah, 6
And
seconds off the
Henny's
lead.
on, what's he on, mediums as well?
He's also softs.
So is it soft?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Brunavane on mediums at the moment is the lead in the lead. Then I think Supermany or GTSA are the next medium runners. DC in 8th, definitely on mediums.
Mediums.
Brunavane and you're still going into the pits on this mediums for Brunners. You're still on your softs. Hollywood's still fighting with Mr. Fanta.
So Brunavane's going to do the 11 and softs. Interesting.
Yeah, I did.
They came with a lighter fuel load.
Hollywood and Mr. Fanta still fighting. Hollywood finally getting past. But if you look at Fanta's front left tyres, almost on the red. Hollywood's not much better. So they might get undercut by the other two. Let's actually go back and look where the other two are coming out though. Are they in traffic? Steele and Brunner both got a nice little bit of fresh air. It's 4 seconds to Raventy in front of them, so they're not really going to get held up on this lap. Lappies and Cutfist having a nice little fight still. Let's just go back to the battle for the lead. Hollywood's opened up almost a second already. You can see Fanta's front left is totally finished now, so he's going to battle this turn and definitely the last one.
Right on the chair.
Chicane of death, he'll battle on the exit going in. Shouldn't be too bad, but all this battling, Henny's only 3.6 behind Lung now. I'm sure we'll see them coming into the pits now. So Henny and P3, what's happening further back with the rest? Cutfist and Lappy's still fighting. We've got Brunavane with Yasteel hanging on. So now Brunavane's on the softs and Yasteel's going to be on the mediums. Same with the leaders. So do you think every other car's going to come in, or do you think there might be one or two guys that go past?
I think they might stay out for one more lap.
Superman, he goes through. He's on mediums and he's got quite a lot of tires. Same GTRSA and DC Gaming go through. So they're the three that haven't stopped yet. In the meantime, I want to follow Hollywood. Looks like Cutfist also goes through and Lappies. So there's 5 that are unfitted, but let's see where Hollywood comes out compared to Brunavane. Oh, and Hollywood's got a 3-second pit penalty from pit entry. Brunavane and Yasteel go through, so that's not a good pit stop for Hollywood.
Ouch, yeah.
Also, Lung, even worse, he's having a hard time coming out the pits and he's dropped 3 seconds just on pit exit on Hollywood. But Hollywood's going to have to serve the 3-second penalty, so it looks like at the moment we've got Brunavane versus Yasteel. But now we have alternative strategies from guys running longer on the mediums up front.
Medium.
I just was that Brunavane, I think, just set a purple sector. Although he's 4.4 behind Cutfist, so he's actually lost time on his out lap. Not the best first lap. Second lap he's putting a bit of pace now though. It's Hollywood catching up onto the back of Yasteel, but he's got his penalty to serve. It's very unfortunate for him, because not only did he get undercut, but that penalty is going to be a problem. So you can see our on the road top 3 at the moment: Brunavane, Yasteel, Hollywood, Mr. Fanta. C810 is right behind Fanta now though.
The penalty line after the tunnel, eh?
Yeah. Oh, and Yasteel gets it sideways coming out the chicane, death chicane. So is Hollywood slowing down? That's going to put Fanta and Henny right with him. Does he stay ahead? Just, I think, it's going to hold off the other two. Yeah. But now you see how much Henny's closed with Lung's poor outlap and Hollywood's penalty from being 3.5 behind him. He's right with them. DC's the only one that hasn't pitted now, and Lappies. They're still going. they're running my strategy, 12 on mediums and then...
his medium's almost done.
Oh, and Lappy's gets it all kinds of sideways. It is a drift car. Gives us a nice show of the Cav R and Track Art and TGN logos.
Beautiful picture, side shot.
He's got Branavane closing on him quickly now. They're not in the same race, so let's see if he moves out the way, or that's what I did when I was in this position. I had the leaders coming through and I started to pit and just moved over coming up this section. He's not defending. Looks like he's just going to let Branavane come up the inside. Some good driving there by Lappy, staying out the way of the leader. You can see Branniv's pulled away 3 seconds on Steel now, but that's the soft to hards. Branavane's softs already showing somewhere, and he's got to do 11 laps on them. Steel's going to just have to hang in there and then see what he does on the mediums.
Yeah, I thought Branavane would have gone one more lap on his mediums, but
it helped him get... I would have said it helped him get the undercut, but I think he was actually just taking the lead, so at that time, so he didn't have to get any undercut. Maybe it's just defending from an undercut. So DC and Lappy's going, so we're going to have our full race order now. So Branavane from 2.6 from Steel. Hollywood 5 seconds behind. They've got a second on Henny now. Henny's got ahead of Mr. Fanta by a second. As you can see, Lung did well on the softs, but he's been battling a bit on the mediums. Penny's doing well on the mediums, hanging on to the back of Hollywood. Then we have Supermanny closing in 6. He's now on the softs this time around. GTSA also on softs. DC on softs in 8th place. Ravanti on softs after his early issues. Lappy's soft. Catfish soft. Yanali's on medium. Sam is pitting again for softs. Was that his first pit stop? So even after all the issues and pitting, I think Sam's going for a late fastest lap challenge here. Up front,
the guys get a point for the fastest lap?
They do. 2 points.
Okay, 2 points.
Yeah, I can hear the 5-second delay in the break there. So Mr. Branavane 3.5 seconds ahead in the Nissan Opel Calibra Silvia. Steel second, running Gorilla Garage by Tribs. Hollywood starting onto third. He's got Henny right behind him, half a second, 6/10 back to Mr. Fanta. So nice battle for third at the moment. It's one to watch. Like I say, Superman is only 1.5 seconds further back, so it's almost a 4-way battle for the podium.
And I see Henny's tyres are a bit better than Hollywood's, a little bit.
Yeah, they all first, third, fourth, and fifth are all on the mediums, but then you have Steel closing on the softs. I mean, Superman on the softs and GTSA on the softs. DC Gaming's a bit too far back, 7.8. Also on softs. What we're going to have to see is Branavane was putting some pace in the gaps now, 4.1 ahead. He's looking after his tyres quite well, but there's still 7.5 laps to go.
True. Each time I see GTRSA cars, I think it's a Porsche. For some strange reason, that livery makes it look like a Porsche.
Hollywood's just opened a small gap on Henny at the moment. I think Henny maybe got a slide on because Lung is right all over him. We're going to see a battle here into the turn. They've both got to watch out because Superman's right there. Manny will want to get through while his tyres are still good before the drop off. Because I think from about lap 18, 19, talking nonsense, these guys are saving tyres pretty well here. We obviously saw how much Branavane had saved on his mediums compared to the other guys' fronts, softs on the early stint. But their fighting, I think, is what's put him 5 seconds ahead.
gave him that breathing space.
Yeah. A strategic masterclass.
Yeah.
No, he just kept his nose clean and hung with the leaders on the mediums, so when he got pitted and got the softs, he's managed to open a gap. And he's not fighting with anyone to hold him up like they did. But yeah, we've got a great battle now for 4th, 5th and 6th. Hollywood's managed to just open up a little bit. Not much of a gap, but I think that 1.2 seconds means that Henny's not in the slipstream anymore, so he's having to defend even harder. Great drive by Henny so far. Same as the Fanta's got back ahead of Manny. So that sorry, still ahead. We saw Manny looking at him earlier, but Fanta bumps Henny, I think, into that corner, which costs him a bit of momentum. Or yes, Super Manny take advantage. Again, all these pace guys mixed up tonight because there's so many of them. GTSA is just sneaking up in the back there, gap down to 2 seconds. Hollywood's 6 seconds behind you. Still, that I think that what really cost him was that 3-second penalty coming out the pits.
Penalty. Yeah, definitely.
Because you can see Hollywood hits a wall, which cost him 2 places. While we're following there, does Manny go for the move as well? Manny on the soft should be able to outbrake him. So it's Hollywood back down to 6th place. A similar thing to what happened early in the race. Chicane of death strikes again. So what I was going to say is the outlap with that penalty was a 54 for Hollywood, where Henny's was a 51. Yeah, so it was 3-4 seconds that it cost him. Yeah, Steele's outlap was a 48. So that's where he pulled his 6 seconds on Hollywood, but now Hollywood having hit the walls, dropped right back. Gap to the front still only 4.7. Last time around 47.1 from Steele, 46.8 from Brunavane. So I think looking with 5.5 laps to go, Brunavane should have this, unless his tyres really drop off. Looks like he's got more than enough fuel.
I think his tyres are very good at this point. I think he's managed them pretty well.
The front left's going to be battling towards the end, but I don't think it's not like it's going to drop off a second or 2 seconds a lap now, which is what Steele needs. A good drive from Steele coming through the pack. He was in 4th early on, now in 2nd.
Would this be Brandon's first win of the season?
I don't know about the season. I know he has won a GTSA race before though.
Race before, yeah. But I think this is. I think this will be actually his first one. Little GT there.
Yeah, GTSA's got past Hollywood as well on this lap. Another one of the soft runners. So if you're Hollywood, obviously when you hit the wall you get dirty tyres and you have a scruffy lap or so, but if I was him I'd just sit in the slipstream of GTSA because he's going to catch up with Manny stuck behind the 2 medium runners, so all's not lost for Hollywood. He's got that 3rd, 4th, 5th battle right ahead of him. He's sitting right on the back bumper of GTSA there, and obviously Tom's only 5 laps left. He doesn't want to not overtake if there's an opportunity, but we can see all 5 cars in one shot there.
And all it takes is one mistake.
Yeah. Manny's meat in the sandwich. He's got 2 medium runners ahead and he's got 2 cars behind him. One on softs, one on mediums. Manny he's 46, 47 last couple times around. The other guys running a similar pace. Henny's actually 46.9 last time around. He was 2/10 quicker than Steele. So Henny doing a good job on his tyres again. His medium's looking better than Steele's. holding off Lung, holding off Superman, GTSA and Hollywood. We just take a cruise. Yeah, Steele, not just Steele, Raventy's recovered from being last after turn 1 or 2. 45.2, fastest lap of the race on lap 14. His last 4 laps have been in the 45s. That's crazy fast. After he pitted, he did a outlap of 49, then 50.1, 45.999, 45.2, 45.6, 45.7. His front tyres looking a bit cooked, but that's why he's come from last all the way up to 8th. Made up that he's only 20 seconds off the lead. I think on lap 1.
He lost a lot of time on his off.
Yeah. So pity about that early incident for Rav because he's flying. 8 seconds behind.
He could have been battling for the podium.
Something happened to Mr. Fanta there, and I think Superman.
Lost Bubbles.
Superman and him must have had a collision going into the first chicane because Lung dropped to the back of that train, and Superman was stopped on the side of the track waiting for him. So obviously something went wrong there when Manny let him back through, but that's now let Raventy up into 7th. He was 8 seconds behind, now he's only 8/10 behind Mr. Fanta. Hollywood's now back up into 5th. He's 1.8 behind GTRSA. Henny's now got a comfortable 2-second lead for the 3rd place. He did his best lap last time, 46.5. Steele was a 47.5. Brandeveen 47.0. So I think besides Rav, Henny's was the 2nd quickest guy on the track last time around, and he's on mediums. 46.5 flying.
Wow, that's good. That is quick.
You can see the stress of the chicane starting to take its toll.
Guys are getting like more cautious now when they're going through.
You can see Rav's gone past Fanta. Superman is back on his tail. All that brought DC Gaming in 9th onto the back of this pack, and he's I think on softs here. But you can see now if you look at Fanta's racing mediums, the front, and then you look at Superman's front left with 3 laps to go. Now it's now where the soft guys are starting to battle with their cars understeering, and the medium guys still have the pace. Go a little bit further back, a little bit lonely race. Lappy's 10 seconds behind DC, 2 seconds ahead of Catfish, 13 seconds to Jan Ali, and then he's 5 seconds ahead of Sam, who had a few issues early on. We've forgotten about Brandeveen, all on his lonesome in the Opal, 8 seconds ahead of Steele, 8 seconds, 5.8 seconds.
They've been maintaining the gap quite nicely.
Yeah. Good race management. His softs are looking well done, but so are Steele's mediums. Henny is 1.3 ahead of GTRSA. They're fairly close. Hollywood 2.3 further back. Raventy in 6th, now only 19.7 off the lead. Mr. Lung's got a train of 3 cars, Superman and DC with him. So let's ride with DC through the chicane of death. I know DC is going to enjoy this onboard footage. You can see 185, not too bad, a little bit of a twitch, but manages to get through without a problem. He's looking for a move on Superman.
Yeah, there was some decent car control there going through there.
Yeah, nice by Manny holding it on the outside and still managing to keep his pace up.
DC's on the softs, also on the fading.
Yeah, they're both on softs.
Nice battles right through the field, right through the back, I must say.
Yeah, so Manny's riding defensively and holding DC off for the moment. That's let Lung disappear 2 seconds up the road. He's on the mediums, which are still fairly decent. If you look there, Raventy's on some very worn softs with a lap and a half to go. Looks like Hollywood's going to have to settle for 5th. That 3 seconds penalty put him in right in a place he didn't want to be in. That cost him a podium, I think. 9BR 4th place, Henny 3rd. Henny's down to half a second ahead of the 9BR driver now. Saw the softs quicker than his mediums. Can he hold him off for a lap and a half? This looked like similar to me and Blade, my worn fronts trying to hold on the last lap, and I had a little bit of a bigger gap and I went and drove into that wall and let him get a run on the lot. See, he doesn't defend. I would have and I did defend that move earlier and let the other person go for the round outside, holding the pace, but GTSA pulls into 3rd. Can Henny do anything about it on the last lap? Watch him down the straight here into turn 1's a good overtaking position, or turn chicane 1, let's call it. Here's turn 1. Straight up the inside, Henny give us some entertainment here. He goes for the wide line looking for a cutback. I would have done it then if I was Henny, because I don't think he's going to have enough pace with his old mediums there. So if we go to the front, Brunavain's still holding the lead. Estiel's just cruising now, I think. GTSA has taken a second out of him, but that was with even with the battling, the softs and the hards. Henny's settling, it looks like, for 4th. Doesn't have a huge choice. Do we have any close battles? Superman, he's got a little bit of a gap on DC. So last time through the chicane with Brunavain, let's watch. Nice and cautious, 180k an hour. Avoided the wall. Oh, yeah, still gets very close. Oof. Oh my God. I thought he lost it there for a second. He makes it through, and he cost him about 2 seconds at the moment. Let's watch our winner.
Well then, nice
Well
try there by Brunavain.
Great job. Yeah, Steele's going to come through, holding on to 2nd also. Good job, good strategy. Comeback from GTSA was great. Henny just not being able to hold him off. Hollywood getting 5th. My dogs say hi to everyone. He has us dragged the line. Young gets Raventy by 0.052. And Superman, he's just behind. DC wasn't able to get him. Cutfist coming around for 10th place.
Just on the line.
Lappy's in 11th. He's managed to hold off Yanali. Yanali having a bit of a nightmare through that one chicane early on, lost him a lot of time. He ran pretty consistent pace, but looks like he had an issue on lap 20. He lost about 12 seconds, 14 seconds. That was Lappy, sorry. Yeah. And then lost Sam. How's Raventy's? Yeah, he's done 45.2 for Rav's best lap of the race.
45.2.
So, let's take a look there.
That was a quick, very nice lap time. But yeah, some good races.
Good job in strategy by Brunavain. Comeback by 9 GTSA. Also, great comeback by Raventy. Just a pity about that incident with him at the start of the race. He ended up only 18 seconds off the win.
And he did lose quite a bit of time on that lap.
Yeah,
I
think just on the start he lost 18 seconds with that spin.
18, yeah.
And then he started to pass people, which always costs you time. But you've got to be in it to win it.
Yep. Can't
Shout
make
out,
mistakes.
Shot for joining me on commentary.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
For letting me hijack a little bit.
We shall see everyone next week for the 1 hour Le Mans race.
We'll go to Le Mans.
We'll stream again
with some sprinkles.
Yeah, where did you finish? You're not in pool 1 next week.
No, not Pool 1,
You didn't
unfortunately.
get promoted.
No. This is first season I didn't make it to Pool 1.
Who went up in Pool 2?
Who was in Pool 2? It's not Fred.
Bridgens, no.
No, not Bridgens. I'll tell you now, actually, let me look at the names. I think it was Dutchman is coming up. Who is the other guy? Ghost Killer Pace. Do you see that guy was gone? Nobody saw him. I think he won the race, yeah. Dutchman was in second. I think it was Rusty.
Oh, yeah, Rusty's also quick. I think
Yeah.
it'll be his first Pool 1. But yeah, shout out to all the guys that had a good race tonight.
Yeah. So are we also getting a late reveal on the car for next weekend?
Yeah, we'll sort something like that out. I think
I don't think the guys
just so I don't
will
have to
be happy.
practice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good evening.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for having us.